Let's get to one person who appears to have weathered the slowdown much better than most others, Pawan Munjal, Managing Director of Hero Honda. Mr. Munjal, good numbers coming from your company in Jan and Feb. Do you expect that the current and the next 3 months you will be able to maintain this? And more importantly, how were you such an outperformer in the two-wheeler space itself?
Current month of March, yes, we are expecting to do very good numbers. I can't say what percentage growth it's going to be. March last year was pretty good. I just got the numbers, 320,000 March last year. We should do better than that. Going forward, the next quarter should be also good. April for sure, I'm very, very sure about April. But as we go into the months of May, June, there probably will be a slight slowing down because the seasonal sales, the marriages, etc., are going to get over. Having said that, we all know as an economy, I think we are going in for some tougher quarters. That's what I personally believe. Maybe the two-wheeler industry is doing fine right now. In that two-wheeler industry, Hero Honda has been doing actually a fantastic job, and I must compliment the whole team at Hero Honda for this performance. While from April 08 to February 09, the rest of the industry has grown 2%. Hero Honda has grown 11%, which is, I think, a commendable job. One or two very, very special reasons for Hero Honda's success. I think one is a very clear-cut focus on the customer, the consumer. I always said this, whatever we do at Hero Honda, the be-all, end-all is the customer. Everything we do is around the customer. We design our products for the customer. We go into the market, do studies, research, ask the customer what he or she wants, and then we design our products.
Mr. Munjal, I take that point. The reason why I asked you that question was you sounded pretty more skeptical when we spoke to you around September, October. You were skeptical about brands, you were skeptical about volume. So I want to know what went right. Is it that your rural reach or something was improved in the last 6 months? One, did you get any help at all from interest rates?
Right. I am coming to that. For sure, our penetration in the rural markets, the smaller towns, is now helping us much more than the rest of the industry. When it comes to financing, it's a huge issue for the industry. In that, also for Hero Honda, the consumer financing rates are extremely, extremely high. But more importantly, the consumer financing has dried up. Now, this is hurting the rest of the industry much, much more than it is hurting Hero Honda. We are now finding people who have cash, hard-earned cash, who want to spend monies. Firstly, they don't want to spend monies today. And if they are definitely going to buy a two-wheeler, they are making a very conscious decision, and most of them are now going in for a Hero Honda, which talks about the trust, the reliability, the performance, durability, and what have you about the product and the company.
Pawan, my first question relates to the two-wheeler industry itself. Do you believe the two-wheeler industry overall is growing at perhaps double digits, or do you believe that that's not going to be possible? The big are getting bigger, and perhaps it's going to be difficult for the smaller players. That's my first question, and then I'll come to a specific on Hero Honda. Perhaps if you could shed some light on the two-wheeler industry itself.
Okay, the industry, I believe, firstly, the industry will continue to grow. Now, as a country, we are a huge country, a huge population, and we have a huge untapped potential both in the rural markets as well as in the urban markets. So industry is going to continue to grow. As you rightly put it, maybe not double-digit growth for the industry, maybe single-digit growth. But again, depending on the situation, the seasonality, the environment, the external factors, all of that put together, sometime it could be single, sometime it go into double, but on an average, shall I say, single-digit growth for the industry over the next few years.
Right. Pawan, in terms of Hero Honda itself, obviously, when you were making money even at a time where input costs became exceedingly high. I mean, steel prices were crazy. Most of the inputs were crazy. Now, many of those prices have really gone down significantly. Do you personally see a reduction, an overall reduction in prices of two-wheelers to be happening anytime soon, or a passage of some of these reduction in input costs? Perhaps if you could share some percentages with us in terms of how much input costs have gone down by and how much leeway is left to decrease prices, if there is any.
No, Ashu. I don't think there is any real leeway or scope for going out there and reducing prices. You're right, the commodity prices have softened, so the margins have improved for all of us in the industry. But just remember that a few months ago and let's say 6 months ago or 1 year ago, most of the commodities had really hardened, and they were putting a huge amount of pressure on the margins for all of us. We could not go out and pass on that increase to the consumer. So now when commodities have softened, we are actually getting back to the earlier levels of EBITDAs and margins. So I really don't see much scope there for bringing down the prices.
Let me make Ashu's question stand on its head. Do you suspect that with the industry itself going through some tough times, you may be forced into price cuts because of a price war, which now looks inevitable? Do you see margins? I mean, how do you see your margins? What kind of margins have you been making in the first 9 months? How do you see them this quarter and the next?
I think we are doing about 14% EBITDA, if I'm not mistaken, and going forward, I think we are maintaining that momentum, if at all, with commodity prices staying where they are, and hopefully with the current the world situation, the requirement of commodities not there in the world markets, and I suppose and I hope that commodities probably will soften a bit more, which could improve margin. Now, if that kind of a thing happens, yes, we may.
But you don't see a price war. You don't see a price war forcing your hand.
No, I really don't see a price war happening. We've had a couple of price wars in the past, but I don't really see any price wars coming about now, because everyone is I'm sure very conscious and careful about their bottom lines at the moment.
All right, let me position another rival that will be coming your way. Honda motorcycles, they're going to be launched shortly, maybe in a few months. Do you see that as taking away volumes or margins or market share?
All right. Let me go back a couple of years when Honda decided to come in here with a 100% subsidiary. Clearly, we had a chat amongst ourselves, and it was agreed that Honda would come here with a 100% subsidiary. It was also agreed that the first 5 years they're going to stay with scooters for all of us to get used to the fact that there is an equal joint venture, and then there's a parallel 100% subsidiary of the JV partner. Let the world around us get used to this fact, the customer, the supplier, the dealer, the financial community, everybody. And thereafter, as we all know, they got into motorcycles. And we have a model committee which sits together every couple of months to look at the kind of models each one of our companies is going to manufacture, so that they don't have a head-on collision in the marketplace. We complement each other and try and grab more and more market share from the market.
Pawan, we'll leave it at that, but just before I leave, just very quickly, your prediction, your personal prediction on April, May and June, 5%, 6%, 9%, what do you see it?
Normally I do not make any prediction, and normally I do not give any guidance, etc. But this is for you, Ashu. I think Hero Honda in the range of around 7%.
All right. Pawan, always a pleasure to speak to you. Thanks very much for taking the time to join us today.
Thank you.